Hello everybody and welcome to Galway City. We're here as they build up to their famous Galway Festival, and this racing life takes you to the Emerald Isle. Here's what's coming up.
When he was running when he was running a 70 race in Dundalk, he won well. When he ran an 80 race, he won well. When he ran a 90 race, he won well. And now, he goes to Ascot and it's a 110 race and he still wins equally as well.
There's an elderly woman up the road, Bridie's her name. She rings every day, there's a horse running. And she said she bought a cooker out of Miss United. So we get a brown and a white turkey every Christmas from that woman.
Most people around Ireland come home at Christmas, but people in Galway come home for the Galway Festival because they'll know they'll meet all their friends and family here.
Galway people love this city. It's 2 hours from Dublin. It's amazing that you can just come down here and it's a completely different environment. It's like this all the time.
They say it's a long way to Tipperary, but this has never precluded trainer David Marnane from tasting big race success on an international scale. Based in the rural hamlet of Bansha, Marnane's boutique operation has already sent out prolific winners in Britain and Dubai, and Settle for Bay's spectacular performance in the Royal Hunt Cup last month provided this talented handler with a second Royal Ascot winner in just the past few years.
He travelled really, really well the whole way through the race, and yes, sometimes you actually wonder, God, he's going a bit too well, But once we'd kind of got past the 2 furlong pole, down to the last furlong and a half, Billy kind of nearly took a hold of him there, a furlong and a half down, just not to get there too soon, and then we knew that it was. And we were always quite confident that he'd stay the mile. The one thing I said to Billy going out was just that it was his first time to run at a straight mile, and I didn't want him too busy early in the race, and when he settled well like that and he was travelling so well, a furlong and a half down, we knew he'd stay the trip, no problem.
We were wondering how long it would take for the guys to mention the Donkey Derby and poor old Billy Lees.
Yeah, he's still getting plenty of stick about
He's
that.
He's never going to live it down, is he?
We showed it to the kids the other night, actually. Yeah. So yeah, no, he's come a long way from that. But we're very lucky again. We kind of, we don't really have any stable jockey or anything like that here, but we use the best available. And I just thought that Billy would suit him. He's kind of a big, tall rider with a very, very good pair of hands, and obviously a very good rider for the big occasion. He's had a Royal Ascot winner before, but and he's had Grade 1 winners before. But he's a top rider. Such
a big occasion. It must have been for you huge satisfaction to land it for such a brilliant team of owners.
Yeah, Dennis McGettigan and his wife Nicola, and Mossy Casey, who's local. They're brilliant owners. They leave you at it, which is a big thing. And but they're very enthusiastic, and they know how to celebrate it, which is always good. But no, they're great. I mean, Dennis and Mossy have been with me for a good number of years now, and Dennis has owned a few horses, and sort of some of them work out and some of them don't. But now he has a good one. He knows how to enjoy it.
Reading a couple of the articles in the newspapers in the UK, it was a quivering David Marnane and tearful. Have we lived that down yet?
No, I'm still getting stick over that. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, I suppose we're waiting for this horse a while, a good while, because it's, we've known he was quite a nice horse, and then to get him there and it all to happen, So it was great. It was great. It was just a bit too much on the day, though.
Well, we don't need any tissues today.
No, we don't. No.
But it was a sweet success considering his journey, I'm sure, as well.
It is. Yeah. It's satisfying. I suppose it's very satisfying. Especially obviously coming back from an injury and and progressing. They kind of progress. They keep progressing, and you wonder where they level out at. And we kind of always felt that he was certainly well above 100, and I suppose like when he was running when he was running a 70 race in Dundalk, he won well. When he ran an 80 race, he won well. When he ran a 90 race, he won well. And now, he goes to Ascot and it's a 110 race and he still wins equally as well.
You've already achieved so much with him, but he still could be incredibly progressive. What are the plans? He's stepping up into another gear now, obviously. But
you know, and we're under no illusions about that. But, you know, like I say, he's 16.3, he's lightly raced, he was locked up this time last year. So, you know, he still probably has potentially a good bit of improvement left in him, you would hope. So look, we'll probably start him off in Cork in the Platinum Stakes, which is a mile listed race. And I'd like to bring him to York for a Group 3 over 9. I think that I'd like him to see if he can get 9 furlongs, because Dubai is sort of in the back of our minds with him.
Dubai, I'm sure, is on the back of your mind with many of your horses that you get in.
It is with him anyway, because I just think that his style of running, you know, he's very laid back, he's a good turn of foot, he likes that fast ground. So Dubai could be, you know, there's a couple of good 8 and 9 furlong races, so you know, that's if he can stay the 9, that I'd be very happy.
Would you eye up Arlington again?
We would, not this year, no, but yeah, again, he's you know, a mile and a quarter. That's a step up to a mile and a quarter now, but we'll see how he goes.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
You have a mighty setup here. Obviously, Mel and all of your family, your girls, your son, not exactly catching on to the whole racing bug yet, or ever maybe.
The social side of it maybe.
But and even your youngest Emily, and how much she's fallen for Settle for Bay, but all of the ponies and everything else around here.
Yeah, we're very lucky. Look, my mum is still here. Con is just down the road. My other brother is here. You know, we have a great family here. And it's you know, it's great to be all in the one area as well, and it's our own place, and you know, it's super. Yeah,
super. And what about owners coming into the yard? Obviously, you can land one on a big occasion in England, Dubai, internationally. Who's still sourcing your horses? If somebody wanted to get involved at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, look, we go to the yearling sales. We go to Breezo sales. We go to horse training. We'll, you know, wherever we can get them. Like, I mean, Settle for Bay came out of Germany. You know, so we're literally going to all the sales. But you know, I suppose Peter Doyle is a big help here lately now, and he's the last number of years, and we've trying to get in that bigger, scopier model. But things are going very well, and you know, we do a few syndicates where we sort of have. Where we buy 2 or 3 yearlings together, and 10 people get involved in the whole lot of them, training fees. The whole thing is all in one go, and that seems to be suiting a lot of people. We're getting, you know, we get responses from the UK, from Dubai, from Australia, America, everywhere, you know, so and Ireland as well, obviously.
But coming here today, I mean, there's no doubt in anyone that would visit your stable, there's no doubt that they would not want to have a horse in training. It's an excellent operation. The success obviously speaks for itself.
Yeah, look, we're very fortunate. We've got great facilities here, and we've got a lovely place. I suppose it's just hard to get people to see it because you're in Tipperary. You know, if you're on the Curragh or if you're in Newmarket, you know, there's probably more people get to see it, but certainly anyone who comes down and sees the place, yes, it's everyone's bitten by it, you know.
What's the next dream for David Marnane?
More Racecourse winners. I don't know. Look, just to keep training nice horses and sort of get more horses in around the place, I suppose. It's hard to find those good ones when you're dealing with a pool of 20, 25 horses. So it's, you know, you need to. It's hard to find those good ones, you know. So I suppose to get the numbers up to maybe double that, and you know, try to get more of those good horses around the place. It's really, you know, I still like to, if we have one good enough, obviously, to go to England or go to Dubai or America or wherever you can.
The Guinness Galway Hurdle is one of the most valuable and keenly contested events in the Irish racing calendar. Canter trainer Michael Winters, one of the great characters, has won back-to-back renewals of this prolific race, courtesy of Miss United and Rebel Fitz. So Michael, where are we? Greenfield?
Yeah, Greenfield Road is the address. A very lucky area. My uncle, his father, I tell lived in his early years here, but definitely his grandfather lived here, and it is down in the Winters family since that generations. But it has reared a lot of nice horses here. Monsignor was here for a while. Well, you see Rebel Fitz there now. He's as happy as Larry, if there's such a thing.
Well, this is him.
Yeah,
he's the blue head collar.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely thriving still.
Yeah, we had another real good horse here. Monsignor was reared here. Paddy the Plaster was here as well, but you know, they're out day and night and they go into the stables when they want to, and they're fed once a day, I suppose, and they've 37 acres to roam around. So it's, I suppose, if we set this place up instead of going training, maybe for a retirement home for ourselves and the horses, might be there.
We might need someone to come and look after us, though.
Huh?
We need someone to come and look after us.
I wasn't retiring, you know, I was retiring to myself.
Give us the odd feed.
Yes.
But he's certainly enjoying himself here, Rebel Fitz.
Yeah, you see, it's pure natural, it's nature. And you see, he came from France and he arrived in sales as a yearling, so he probably never had freedom. So early on he was lost with your horses running around. Now he's like Black Beauty in the films. He's in charge. And my uncle now, he's 92. He buried his sister during the weekend, otherwise he'd be up there feeding him.
Oh.
He comes up and he passes around and loves that, like.
It's great for him, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
To still have this, and for yourself as well. You know, obviously you had some wonderful days with this guide, and he's a proper dude, isn't he?
Well, he's a hobnail. He looks quite there now, but when he's at the race, when you stop going racing before, if he stopped for a bottle of water or filled the lorry with diesel or whatever, he'd freak out, he'd melt. So when you load him in the box, you got to the races, you put on the chiffney on him, and the lad mind him, Mikey Cronin, he kept him on the go all day.
Yeah.
So he, after racing, he'd half an hour later, he'd wind down, he'd come home and he'd be as happy as Larry. He'd know he'd be after winning, I suppose, really.
We're talking over 30 acres here, aren't we?
37 acres. To be nice, it's a nice holding, but it's a holding that farming, I doubt if you'd make a living at it. And maybe training racehorses. We are not hoping to go very big, but we might try and source maybe a better standard of a horse. See, while we had these horses there, we were very comfy, but we never source horses from the sales, really. So after a while, you find that with all the, you know, with competition out there and the top men out there and whatever, and the price of horses nowadays, you probably have to give yourself a kick in the backside and try and motor on again.
But you must have noticed that down through the years, the difference in the price of pointers and what they're going for these days.
Well, what happened long ago, if you had a horse ran, if you ran the point long ago, you'd sit in their backside and their furze bush in front of the fence, and the horse he'd love him after 3 or 4 jumps and he'd go along. Well, he'd take 6 or 7 runs before he'd be a racehorse. But he was a great horse for long term, for training on then. Nowadays, I'd worry a small bit. There's so much pressure put on these young horses. Like they never have the freedom that the older type horses have, because they're in sales as yearlings, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. They're winning as 4-year-olds, but they're doing a fantastic job with them.
Are they quickly over the top then in terms of their career?
Well, I suppose I'd be thinking they should be, but they don't. To surprise you, no. For him, look at that horse that won the Grand National, Tiger Roll. He's phenomenal, but I think they're still going back to nature a bit with the bank races in Punchestown and Cheltenham and stuff. They are actually keeping in tow with tradition as well. Like, it isn't all mad galloping or anything like that. And in fairness, we did a tour of Gordon Elliott's there a bit ago and Joseph O'Brien's. They have good variety as well with them, and do you know what I mean? I suppose they have a lot of people minding these horses and pampering them, so they have good lives. They have a lot better lives than a lot of, I suppose, the world nowadays, anyway, really.
It was wonderful to see Rebel Fitz enjoying life in retirement on the Winters farm outside Kanturk. But on a blistering hot afternoon, it was time to head for the Alley Bar for some much needed refreshment and a trip down memory lane with Michael. Let's talk about Davy Russell and Rebel Fitz, who we saw today and looks magical, I guess, in his new life, but so special to you, your team, and Davy Russell, who was on board 2012. Galway heard, I think you might have given him a little kick up the backside because there was a head between them in the end.
Yeah, well, we had loads of banter on that. I was standing very near the winning line and I had no idea whether we'd won or lost. But I told my mind that, look, second is not too bad, and I kind of looked at the prize money even at that, and a couple of locals said, you won. And inside the parade ring, when they started jumping around, they said, you're mad. I suppose you'd be in denial, you know what I mean? That maybe the top jockeys, that's why you don't get to the top sometimes, confidence or whatever.
They know, don't they?
They do,
sometimes.
yeah. So it was, that was powerful.
You say it a bit of banter, like, obviously causes a head between them. First of all, how are the celebrations?
Well, you see, what happens, I suppose, in the celebrations, the thing went wild. To be like, I suppose, what I often look at GA matches there and they see a player and they're catching this ball and they're blowing up through the field and they're doing all that. I got that buzz out of the horse winning the Galway Hull because the crowd was there and you knew it was a small bit of acting, you play along with it, but it was phenomenal, like it was spectacular. And you know, I suppose you were the small fella coming up along the ladder and getting lucky, and I'd say Cantor Cork to be a great racing crowd, even though I thought we'll have to start pulling up our socks around here because we're falling behind a bit, but it was spectacular to the world.
And Miss United, what a mare.
Yeah, she was probably a very spectacular mare that she reminded me of Dawn Run. Like Dawn Run did everything on the national hunt field, like Miss United was doing it a mixture of the flat, but Miss United showed what she did in the flat, that she could have done it over the fences. She only ran over holes, but in fairness to the owners, they taught me plenty as well, like, because I'd be setting my ways, if you're not used to running in the flat. Well, they broke us into the flat a bit and we probably wouldn't have been in Ascot.
Did you know how special she was, like, from her, because she ran in the 3 bumpers, I think, didn't she?
Yeah, well, I tell you, her first bumper, the ground was very hard below in Limerick and she was a baby and she finished second. And we were training her then for the stole and we started to kind of really fancy her a little bit. But the way she won by 14 lengths in that ground. So she ran in Goodwood and Rockhard ground. She won her bumper in bottomless ground in the stole.
So versatile, and the Goodwood win, I mean, things went wrong for her on the day. Obviously she's had 2 lovely foals now, and you know, for Dan and Vanessa, I'm sure they're going to have some really, really nice foals with her. Talk us through that day, the last 50 yards.
You see, when I was watching it, I wasn't watching from the stand, I was watching kind of from a side screen, and next thing I lost my vision or something, and I was trying to see what number was she, and they were flashing up 2572, whatever it was. And the next thing I said, she's in front, and then she'd gone behind. So I ran with her for the last 50 yards of my head. And in fairness, the jockey, what you call it, Jim Crowley.
Jim Crowley, yeah.
I think the mare she lost her balance 2 furlongs down. And the horse at both sides, he actually kept her very sweet. And you know, when he came in, he was worried about it, but he said she gave him everything and he went with it, and you know, it was going to be a final race.
Yeah.
And I knew she passed the line. I said she's retired now, that's it, she was done for us, like, very special, like.
2018 will see the 149th renewal of the world-famous Galway Races Summer Festival. Then Racecourse manager Michael Maloney cannot wait for the sport to begin.
I suppose Galway is an unusual week in that it really is a festival atmosphere, and it's a real carnival festival for Galway City. I suppose people from Galway generally come home, or most people around Ireland come home at Christmas, but people in Galway come home for the Galway Festival because, you know, they'll know they'll meet all their friends and family here. So it's great to be in the final countdown and to be putting the finishing touches and looking forward to a big week come the end of July.
Well, I know that you spent a lot of time in England at Plumpton, so this is your 4th festival.
Yeah, it was great. You know, really enjoyed my time in Plumpton. I suppose I went over there to see how the industry works in the UK, and it was a great bit of experience to get, and great to see how things are done over there. You know, I suppose one of the big things we brought back was customer experience and, you know, experience for owners and trainers, and, you know, it was really a positive 4 years that I spent in Plumpton, and delighted to be back now in Galway and you know, implementing some of those little tweaks and changes and making Galway a success.
Absolutely. Every day is a school day, and if you can bring it back, and actually since the last time I've come here, there's been more than a lick of paint.
Yeah, indeed. I suppose after the festival last year, we took upon a new development, which is our new Wilson Lynch building. So as soon as the festival was over, our contractors moved in on site on the Tuesday after the festival. MOLONEY Construction, a local builders, and it's been a new €6 million investment in the facility. It's a fantastic new building. I suppose we're really delighted with it. Delighted to see the finishing touches having been put in place to that over the last couple of weeks.
And what will it bring for Racecourse? Obviously, I saw a lovely champagne bar, and, you know, lots of more space for people, but also a little bit of shelter as well.
Yeah.
If we do get the dreaded rain, which certainly doesn't look like it at this stage.
No. Hopefully the weather will stay like this. But yeah, I suppose it certainly is. It's all about adding comfort to the owner experience and the racecourse experience. So the ground floor is going to be a bedding hall, tote hall, Ladbrokes bedding shop. We're going to have coffee dock down there, toilet facilities. So there's an extra covered space down there of about 2,000 people. And I suppose the real highlight highlight of it is the new champagne bar, which is a balcony overlooking the parade ring, the bookmakers ring, and out onto the track. And I suppose that's really come out better than we could have imagined ourselves. And I think people will come in the gate this year, they'll be really impressed by the new structure and the additional facilities that we have here this year.
Absolutely, and lots of more live music as well. And we know it's all about the fun, the crack, the buzz, the excitement, and the adrenaline that Galway Festival brings to Racecourse. What have we got in store this time?
Yeah, look, it's great. As you say, you know, the racing is just fantastic. It's improved year in, year out. We're very lucky to have really good sponsors and really good people backing the prize money. We have a prize money this year of over €2 million for the week, which is fantastic. And we have a feature race every day of over €100,000. The feature being the Tote.com Galway Plate on the Wednesday and the Guinness Galway Hurdle on the Thursday. But I suppose, you know, off the track we generally look to have a bit of fun and create a bit of an atmosphere. I think we've 40 live acts throughout the racecourse over the week. We've things like on the Monday evening we open the festival with the Fields of Athenry being sung by the Galway Tenors. On Tuesday we have the Paddy Power Zorbing Derby. This year we have the likes of Katie Walsh, Sene Nepu taking part in that, so it's a really exciting thing.
Racing and rugby covered there as well, but some obviously live music, but with the Zorb, and there's some weird, wonderful, wacky things as well, and carrying pints on trays.
Indeed. On the Saturday then we have a Western Alzheimer's pub pint race, so the local pubs get involved to raise a bit of money for charity, and they all run up the last furlong of the track with a pint, and whoever has the most of their pint left by the finishing post wins the race. Look, it's all about having a bit of fun, and as you say, it's always a festival atmosphere, and people, when they come to Galway, they're in mood to have a good time, and generally there is a great mood around the course, and you know, we're delighted to facilitate that. And there's so many things will happen on and off camera throughout the week, and it'll just be another great week.
And some of the stuff that you'll hope to capture as well.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of the fun off the track, but on the track as well. We've got a change to the Galway Plate. Tell us how that's come about.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, as I said, the Galway Plate is, you know, one of our features. It's our most historic race of the year. It's been run since 1869, so this will be the 149th running of it. And I suppose over the last couple of years we were just looking at it, and we really wanted to put it back front and centre of the festival. So we took the decision to move it to an evening meeting. So the first race this year will take place at 5:10, and the Galway Plate itself will take place at 7:20. So it's all about giving people the chance to come here and be able to enjoy it. I suppose we have a huge population that work in the locality around us, about 15,000 people. And it was just giving them a chance to do their day's work and come to see the Galway Plate after the racing, or after the day's work. I suppose, you know, it's been really positive. It's been really well received. It surprised us, and so many people have come to us and said that they're delighted they're going to get the chance and go and see the Galway Plate this year. So I think it's a move that I think it looks like it's going to work well, and hopefully that is the case.
And of course Michael D. Higgins, he's a very, very big supporter, and he'll be here as well. Yeah,
it's great. The president normally comes to present the Galway Plate on the Wednesday. He's a great supporter of Galway, a great supporter of what we do. You know, and delighted to have him here on the day, and it just, you know, it adds to the little carnival that we have here during the week in July.
Well, some great racing on the track, and fun and frolics off it. 149 years. I can't imagine what 150 will be like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really special. I suppose we're really looking forward to. We've some big plans in the pipeline. We started planning probably 12 months ago already in the build up to our 150 years. It's an amazing achievement. You know, the Galway Race Committee have really invested in the racecourse over the last 25 years. I think there's been a spend of about 50 million. We've more plans in place, and you know, it really all is now about celebrating our 150 years and continuing on into the future.
The beautiful and historic Galway City on the banks of the River Corrib dates back to 1124 and has a rich and proud heritage. The current mayor of the city, Noel McNeilis, took time out from his busy schedule to show us around.
Everybody's really looking forward to it. The town has never looked as well. The weather's been absolutely fabulous for the city. I think it's going to be as good as this when it comes up. I mean, but you know, you've seen the selection of restaurants and bars and everything we have in the city, and it means so much to Galway as a city to have this racecourse.
And as we walk under the Spanish
Arch. We're a circle city, and we've always had, you know, the horse has always been so important to Galway City, and we've always prided ourselves with the Connemara pony, but also the Galway Racecourse is something that is the top of our tourism game for the year. It means so much to have it here, and look, it's going to be great crack, and we're looking forward to it. It'll be great fun.
It's always great crack. That's what we like to hear of
the
mayor of the city. Good crack is what we want.
Look, the great thing about being mayor of the city is you get to actually celebrate the city as much as possible and actually get to go to all these events. I mean, I'm going to be up at the Racecourse for the full 7 days. Looking forward to it. The hospitality on the Monday night.
Yeah.
On the Tuesday night, we've got the Latin Quarter going to be up there. Wednesday night, I think, is the play President Higgins is going to be attending. Thursday is Ladies' Day. I have to get a new suit for that. Friday, just going up with the lads. I think Saturday I'm at a stag, and on Sunday then it's probably recovery with the kids.
Well, you say a new suit. I'd imagine since this beauty is around the neck, there have been a few new suits.
There's been a few new suits. I mean, this is something that's been long fought for. I'm delighted to get it. So, like as mayor of the city, it's our chain of office. It's an honorary role, but as you can see, it's got the Claddagh ring on it, which is like a 16th century Facebook status. So by watching people's hands, you can tell who's single and who's not in Galway City. And we've got the seal of the city, which is the boat. Last week we had Sea Fest, which behind me here you can see the Galway hooker boats and the Claddagh Keys. And then all of these names and the various mayors that have done through the years that have been here. And Paddy Ryan, who was involved in the Racecourse for a long time. The late Paddy Ryan, and Mayor of Galway City, his name is on this as well. And Anthony, his son, is now on the Racecourse committee. So it's nice to have that history here. It's a huge honour. But I mean, like, the whole town is just absolutely electric at the moment. I mean, and in the last couple of years, we've got 2020 coming down the line now at the moment for our European Capital Culture. Yeah. And I just pointed over here, see the blue house over here? It's where remember the Ed Sheeran video, the Galway girl?
Yes.
So that's where that was shot as well in the parting clip.
Her hair is black and her eyes are blue. There'll be a fair few of those around race week.
There'll be a lot of Galway girls. There'll be a lot of girls came to Galway as well that night.
We don't know which way the Claddagh will be going that on for race week. But Neil, for yourself, obviously you're talking infancy. How about your family? How have they all coped with it? Are you enjoying your role? Is it a fun role?
Oh, it's a fun role. I mean, sure, to be mayor of a city that you're actually born and bred in, and actually to turn around and say all the stuff that's good about the city is just absolutely brilliant. And be able to go around and meet everybody and be able to sell the town and sell the city that we is. I mean, Galway has changed so much in the last 50 years, don't mind the last 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, our population has doubled. This year we have 2.5 million visitors going through the city. Next year we're expecting another 500,000 on top of that. And by the time 2020 comes, the European Capital Culture, I mean, that's just the biggie for us. Presently, we're the European region of gastronomy right across. So all those restaurants that are around the city with the Michelin stars and all that, they're all just doing so well. So where else would you get a chance to be able to sell something that you love so much? And that's the one thing I can tell about Galway is that Galway people love this city. It's 2 hours from Dublin. It's amazing that you can just come down here and it's a completely different environment. It's like this all the time. I mean, I always say that Galway is a party capital.
Are you sure?
Well, since I've taken over, we've won the Connacht
Cup. In terms of the weather, I say.
Yeah, we won the Connacht Championships with the football. Last week we won the Leinster with the hurling. The weather's been absolutely amazing like this, and I'm going to clean up during the races. So I reckon since I've taken over, everything's just going absolutely brilliant.
The Galway Summer Festival is about more than just horse racing, and prolific author and dating guru Kieran O'Malley reflects on just how important the event is to the city.
It's a huge part of our year. You know, we're in the height of the tourist season now, as you can see around Galway City, but the Galway Races is ultimately the peak of our season, really.
Well, the peak of your season, and just tell us how much does it contribute to the hospitality sector here?
Well, it's estimated that it's worth about €54 million to the city, that 1 week alone. Like, it brings in, there was over 144,000 people at the races last year, so it brings in an incredible crowd, both out to Ballybrit and in the city itself. I think Galway is almost unique in how much it does for this city, not just the actual festival itself. So the atmosphere around Galway during the week, it's incredible. I've called it Rag Week for adults. It's just so much fun. All the bars are buzzing, the streets, it's such a great atmosphere. And it's not just about drink either. It's a great way to meet up with old friends, make new friends. It's just an incredible time to be in Galway, and I'd highly recommend, if you haven't been here yet, to definitely check out Galway that week.
And you're obviously heavily involved in the hospitality sector, but you have seen some scenes, heard great stories, and you're a blogger. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, like we all need a hobby, I guess. And my blog is called The Galway Player. So I've written blogs on dating, given dating advice. I've written a book called Shift and Drift. I mean, this city is really plentiful with it's a great place to be a single guy or girl, especially the week of the races. So I've seen a lot of fun things, met a lot of fun people during the races. I'd highly recommend, if you're single, to get down here, because it's just everyone is so friendly and outgoing and chatty. You'd never know who you're going to meet on that week. It's a great week for fashion and style. I'd be big. Often I just go to the races to see the style of the talent out there, both on and off the track, and that's where it's all happening.
So the Galway player, is the Galway player single?
Of course the Galway player is single. You know, you need to be single to be a dating expert. I need to be on Tinder, on Plenty of Fish, all these things to see what's happening and to be, you know, a cutting edge. If I'm giving advice, I need to be single and to know exactly what's happening.
In 2 weeks' time, these stands behind me will be packed to the rafters. We wish them all here at Galway the very best of luck for their famous festival, and our thanks to all the lovely people we've met on our travels here in Ireland. That's all for this Racing Life. Until next time, bye-bye.